So as I'm sitting here recording this, which I've literally tried to record this multiple times, I haven't been able to get through it. So we'll see how today goes. But who knows if this gets out, and if it does get out, then I hope you don't judge me, and I hope that if you're fucking dealing with some of this stuff, then maybe it helps you or whatever it can do.
Well, looky here. Another podcast with middle-aged dudes talking about shit they know nothing about. Great business model. Here's the thing, though. Men who've lived life to the fullest and seen all the ups and downs have a lot to say. And although we have a ton of fun, like your mom, we have our own opinions that are real and raw. And whether there's 5 people listening or 10,000 people listening, we will always be ourselves. Well, I mean, you know, we may have smoked a bunch of pot, and we're not all the way there, but we're here. We've got friends and we've got enemies. Which are you going to be today? Your hosts, Matt Pierce.
Welcome back to Pierce of Mine. This episode, it's different, y'all. It's raw, it's real, and it starts with me almost not being here. So light up, pour your coffee, or just breathe. Whatever helps you settle in. Because today, I want to talk about how close I came and why I'm still here. Before we get into that, though, I want to say how close. Who knows if I still will even release this. I have been bouncing back and forth, rather not to even get into this episode. Because it makes me very sad to think about my situation and how I'm letting all this stuff in my life affect me. Not just the end of my marriage, but just everything. This job, my lack of a community here, my lack of a tribe here, knowing the fact that I'm going to be sleeping in my car soon, and if I lose my job, if I don't get that figured out, then I won't just be sleeping in my car, which was going to be like a fun adventure. I'm going to be sleeping on a park bench stranded in Lima, Ohio. And I've let that really get a hold of me. And I honestly did not know if I was going to do this episode. That being said, I also started doing these podcasts again because I wanted to open up and be vulnerable to the world, or to the, a couple of hundred of you now that are listening, by the way. But I wanted to also, not sugarcoat shit. And, the whole point of this is me, sharing with you and myself and working through all this shit. And so if I only, sure, I know a lot of these have been sad and downers, but, if I only pick and choose what I put out there, then am I really facing everything? So as I'm sitting here recording this, which I've literally tried to record this multiple times, I haven't been able to get through it. So we'll see how today goes. But who knows if this gets out, and if it does get out, then I hope you don't judge me, and I hope that if you're fucking dealing with some of this stuff, then maybe it helps you or whatever it can do. But I want to go back to basically literally a week ago today, and last Thursday. Honestly, I almost didn't make it. Not in the poetic way, or I'm not sitting here trying to cry for help. Or I guess maybe I am, honestly, in some way. But in this might be it kind of way. And I remember kind of the moment where I decided I was just done. Monday. Hey, Moosey Goosey. Puppy interruptions as always, but we always love those. Come on. Come up here, Moose. Come here, Moosies. Oh, yes. Snuggle. Hi, everybody. Say hi, Moose. Moose is my buddy. He's a good boy. He's a big part of probably the reason I'm back. Or I didn't go anywhere, I guess I should say, huh? Mwah. I love this dude. He's a good pup. He is a good pup. And he knows that he's my protector. And we've been really, really getting close him and Maisie been really protecting me, speak of the devil. Hi, guys. All right, there's no need to fight. Maybe we're recording today, right? Yes. I'm a good dad. I'm a lucky daddy. It's funny because the situation with these guys maybe triggered things on Thursday. I remember the moment once I got a message from Kim telling me she'd come and pick them up because I was working nights. And we're trying to be good co-parents to our pups. And I don't know why. I think it's because before Thursday, Monday, I had probably the worst day at my new job yet. And it should have been a good day, but I just feel like when I go to work that I'm not wanted on my team. I feel that They don't want to show me how to be helpful. They just want to be done with me. And I know I brought some of that on myself, but also it's kind of in the attitude of that team since I got there. And so Monday was kind of the head of like ramp up to like it just all going south, where I realized I saw a lot of their true colors and realized their number one goal is to get rid of me. And the only place I could get help is from outside of my team, which I've made some actions toward that, and I got some things going, so we'll see. That being said, I did not want to go to work Thursday. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in that environment. I knew after what happened Monday it was going to be super awkward, and at least for me, like I was going to be awkward because I had said like my feelings, and they had said their feelings, and we didn't meet in the middle at all places. So I thought it might be awkward for a couple of days. So anyways, I'm at work. I don't want to be there. And I'm telling you, at this point when I'm working, y'all, I literally feel like a prisoner in my own body for 12 hours. It's lonely. It's just like reconfirmation of the isolation I feel every day since everything went down. And I remember Kim texted me and said, hey, I have the dogs. And I remember texting her back, bless that woman. And I know you're not supposed to say that about the person who's breaking your heart, but like, I know she loves me. And I think that's what hurts so bad and what makes it not always easy to understand why we're here. But I texted her and I said, you should just keep the dogs forever. And you should just forget about me, and they need to start forgetting about me, and the world need, because I was in that instant, I had, I don't know, I was just done. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go home, and that's it. I'm just going to say goodbye. I was done. And I remember feeling very at peace and also very sad because I knew it really wasn't going to affect anybody. At least I didn't think it would. I know it would, and we'll get to that in a minute, how I know it would, but just, I really felt like calm and resolute. Is that a word? Is that the right word? Sorry, the weed. Yeah, I just felt very confident in my decision, to the fact where I texted my son and said goodbye. Basically, I told him that I loved him, and I wanted him to know that I'd always love him, because getting to be Trevor's dad is one of the most greatest blessings I've been fortunate enough to have in this world. Not just because he's an amazing kid, but he's taught me a lot. Like, and I had an opportunity to be a dad, which I didn't with Kaylee, and I'm regretting that every day, and I'm reaching out to her very regularly. But I messaged her to the only number I have for her, and I told her I loved her, and I didn't so much say goodbye as I just wished that I told her I hope she had a happy life, and that I'm sorry we didn't get to connect. That was it. Like, Kim tried to kind of talk me off the ledge, but in that very moment, and I don't know what exactly changed, but in that very moment, my decision was kind of made. And I don't know exactly what stopped me, but obviously something did, because it's a week later and I'm here, and I'm really starting to just focus on the things I can control and dealing with things as they happen, and focusing on getting my eating disorder back in order, because it's been out of control lately to the point where I've gained a few pounds that I'm not dealing with so well. But I'm just trying to like focus on every day waking up and going, you know what? I'm gonna figure this job shit out. I'm gonna make these people at least respect me and my work ethic and my ability to learn. And I don't know how that's gonna work out yet, but I'm gonna do that. And I'm waking up and I'm going, you know what? I got my puppies who I know love me, and I know Kim loves me, and someday we'll figure out how to have a balance there. Maybe. We'll see. And I know my son loves me, and I know my daughter would love me if she gave me a chance. So I'm just trying to find every day a little bit of positive. Trying to get a little bit better every day. And I'm not always successful. Every day is not a win. But when I think back of what changed my mind, I think a couple of things really kick off. I think about my mom and how I couldn't do that to her, right? I feel like my mom's had a lot of bad shit happen in her life, and I don't ever want to be someone or something that's added to that. And I just believe your parents should never have to bury their child, and couldn't bring myself to do that to my mama. I think also I want to be loved. I want love, and I want companionship. And so I guess part of me was like hopeful that if I stick around, I'll figure that out. But also my kids, like, I don't want my son, to have to say his dad's gone for that reason. And I don't want to miss an opportunity for Kaylee to change her mind and decide that I'm worth having a conversation with, Or even my ex-wife, Deb, like, these are my new goals. You know, I want to make these reconciliations, and not for them, but for me. And I'm not even saying we're all going to be great pals, but I just want to have some conversations. I just know that I couldn't like put my mom through that. And then honestly, a big part of me was like, what's that going to do to Kim? Who's going to be there for her when she breaks, if she breaks? Who's going to be there to help her through tough times? Now, I know there's going to be the people out there like, how can you think like that of this person who's hurting you? And I don't have a great fucking answer for you. I just know that I love her. She's my person, and I put her through a lot emotionally, I know. But I know that she knows that I'm always going to be there to support her. I remember, a little tangent here, but I just remember we were sitting in her mom's front yard. We were talking about each other's, like, my finances, you know, or our mental health, or whatever, you know, about our things. And just her telling me it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. And I said, I'm fucking in. And, like, for me, that wasn't, like, a thing, like a joke. Like, I was committed to that because I was committed to her. So I think that played a role in, you know, that by the time I got home and I was thinking about, you know, putting some plans into action, I think I thought about those people that I love and these puppies and what I would do. Like, what would they do? Like, what do these guys do? Like, what does Moose and Maisie do if I just stop showing up one day? I stop coming home. And they've got to go to this new place. And they never see me again because I couldn't push through. There's a path. And it's going to be hard. And I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to come out better at the end. Because I'm already better today than when this all started. At least health-wise. Emotionally, I'm fucking beat up. And Kim told me the other day I could probably use to go back into treatment for my eating disorder. Probably not wrong. But I can't afford that. And I don't even know what that would look like in this current situation. And honestly, when she said that and I agreed with her, I also was thinking, like, when is it just time to realize I'm not fixable? Almost. When is it time to realize Daddy's not fixable? This guy. I don't know. I guess, and why am I even talking about it? Why am I on here, like, telling you guys, hey guys, I almost for the second time just ended it, called it a day. I think I'm saying this out loud for one reason. Because I'm still here. And maybe somebody listening is too. Just barely. Y'all, I'm not looking for your pity. I don't need pity. I'm fucking sick of people pitying me. You had this happen to you, this happened to you. And yeah, I fucking lean into it because sometimes it feels good to be heard. And to have someone like just want to hold you and say it's gonna be good. You're gonna be alright. And you know what? If that makes me weak and not good enough for these Lima ladies, I guess it is what it is. Well, seriously, I'm not looking for pity. I just want to put the truth in the air so it doesn't rot inside of me. I want this podcast to be a place where you're getting the most truthful me, the realest version of me. I've learned from my own history, and obviously not so much with this, but other things that, you know what? I don't know if you've ever had something going on and you've like tried to avoid having conversations about it or bringing it up or letting yourself be open to other people seeing that side of you or what you're going through. Fucking I have. And I gotta tell you, I don't know about you, but for me it made it a lot worse. It made it worse to deal with. It made my depression worse. And I've been thinking a lot about that depression and what it looks like for me lately. And trying to explain it to others. Because people ask, you know, they do. I do have, you know, people, I have a tell, I guess. Pretty clear one. I guess I shut down pretty hard when I'm hurting. I isolate like a motherfucker, or I get super quiet. Oh, Moosey just about got his ear burnt off, but we're not going to talk about that. A little side note, my puppies have two distinct personalities when it comes to weed. Moosey here loves the smell of marijuana. He will sniff that shit all day long. Maisie Grace, not a fan. Is that me avoiding talking about my depression? Maybe a little bit. But no, for me, like, my depression isn't always darkness. Sometimes it's just nothing. Like, it's not joy, there's no panic. Sometimes I just feel this heavy, like I'm trapped in my own head, right? And it's deeply silent, but there's 1,000 things going on around me. But I can't focus, like, because the heaviness on my shoulders and my soul is so much that I can't hear shit. And it's just like this dark void, and I don't know what to do with, and I just sit in it. So it's not like, yeah. You know, I think about that isolation and how it affects everything. Like my routines, my friendships, my voice. You know, some of those are easy, right? Bye, Moose. Some of those are easy in the sense of like, I get very isolated, so my routines go from like, right now, for instance, I'm keeping the house up. I think Kim would tell you, she has told me anyways, that I've been doing a very good job keeping our home together and making it look probably the most presentable it's looked since we bought it. Because I have a lot of time on my hands when I isolate. And most times that isolation happens, that's what I do. I get into this routine where, you know, 2 days a week is the days I wash the sheets on the bed and I vacuum and then I dust every day and I mop the wood floor every day and I work on cleaning, you know, I mow the yard on Saturdays and blah, blah, blah. And I find other projects to keep my mind off of shit. Well, the deeper the depression goes, it goes from, okay, well, I barely like can get one thing done all day and it just emotionally drains me. Like I took the dogs for a walk today and it was just like 2 miles. And you would have thought we walked 5 or I rode 20. Like, everything just takes so much. So I stopped doing it more and more and more to the point where I'm just sitting in that chair, getting up to snack and letting the days go by that I don't work. And I avoid my friends. And I know it puts a strain on it because a lot of times I make plans that I don't follow through with. And, you know, the worst is like when I make plans the same day because immediately after hanging up the phone, like, oh, let's go out to lunch. I'm like, oh, that sounds great. But then like 10 minutes later when I'm supposed to be getting in the car to go to that lunch, I feel like shit because I don't want to go. So I cancel or I make up some bullshit excuse. One thing I've noticed is my voice. When my depression kicks in or my PTSD kicks in, I told Kim about this 1,000 times. I get this like kitty voice and I can hear like the kid Matt. It's like he's fighting to get out so he can finally stand up for himself. And I want to just tell him sometimes, like, I got it handled. I think a lot of it also is when I hear that in my voice, it makes me mad because I fucking hate Kid Matt. I hate my younger self. And I know it's fucked up, right? Because I should feel bad for my younger self, but part of me is pissed off that he was such a puss that, you know, he didn't stand up for himself against that piece of shit who called himself his dad. Or he didn't, you know, stand up for himself at school when he was getting made fun of. Or he just didn't, like, learn to deal with things better and control his emotions. Or that he didn't learn to be vulnerable so his marriages would work, like, to the point where now he's just over vulnerable. Like, I hate that fucking kid. He represents everything that makes me weak today, and I can't seem to get rid of it. And I want to feel bad for him and hold him and tell him it's going to be good, but also I want to punch him in his dick because I feel like he allowed us to get this week to where we can call it a day and be okay with it. He's the reason I'm okay, you know, or not even okay, I guess I should say disappointed every morning that I wake up and I open my eyes and I go, fuck, I gotta suffer through another day. Because that fucker gave us no courage. Is that maybe being a little too hard on myself? Probably. But it is Tuesday. And you know, no matter how bad the depression gets, I function to the bare minimum, right? I go to work. Sometimes I laugh. You know, I find ways to giggle. But none of it feels like me. I'm actually in this mode right now where I don't even know what me is. I'm at a job I can't seem to... Here's the deal, it's not even the job. I can do the fucking job, right? The problem is, like, I don't know how to fit in with these people. I've had this feeling almost since I've lived in this community, like I'm such a fucking red thumb sticking out. And maybe I'm putting that on myself, but it does suck to not feel like you have a place. And so you go to work and you don't have like people to like joke with, or people go, oh, after work we're gonna go have a beer. I have one person and I can't figure her out. I think we could be buddies, but honestly I think we can also have some fun in other ways. But I don't know if she's interested in any of it. She plays like she is sometimes, even in just friendship, but then I don't know. I don't know how to read people anymore. Because I'm always just looking for bad shit. Like, I'm trying to think of like the last time I felt truly like myself. Where I felt like even if I wasn't being myself, I was being the most authentic version I knew at that time of myself. And honestly, I keep going back. There's 2 places. Okay, there's ATI. So that's the job I worked at in Utah right before I left, right? There's still guys there to this day that when I go home, I go to dinner with, I get together with, I communicate with. You know, Matt Mondragon, Manzaneros, my buddies. Like, we talk, you know, I talk to Nick every few months or so, keep in touch. These are people who, like, I hope are in my life forever. And I felt like I was the most real version of myself. And yeah, it was damaged and it wasn't perfect, but it was me. And they liked me. Like, and at least they put up with me. I don't know how much they liked me, but they at least accepted me for me. And I must not have been too bad because they still at least engage with me to this day. You know, Mondragon, the guy used to be on the podcast before we started hating fat people named Matt. That guy's like a brother, like my boy Ricardo. And there's so many people there. And I love that place. But before that, honestly, it's kind of where I came out of my shell. I have to go all the way back to when I was like 19 to 21 years old, working at Parason's Italian restaurant up in Akron. I mean, I had my first little fling there with like an older woman. Like, it was all the things. And I came out of my shell. Like, I went in this quiet, like, guy who constantly got made fun of to this, like, place where no one knew me and I could kind of create myself. And I did. And I just, like, blossomed into the funnest version of myself, But that's always, like, every time I get to that, though, my fear of abandonment, like, skyrockets through the roof. Because here's the thing. Here's the part that really fucking messes with me is I'm terrified everyone will leave. Every relationship. And then guess what? It's so far been 100%. And here's the deal. I will readily admit that I pushed those boundaries because I so assume someone's going to leave that I'm just going to give them every reason to do it anyways. My fear of abandonment has rewired every interaction I have. Friends, family, fucking even strangers. Like, I'm constantly self-sabotaging everything. I remember one time Kim told me how hard, like, I'm the hardest person to love. Because I have to test every single relationship. It's like I'm always bracing for impact, even when nothing's coming. I just assume some bad shit's going to happen. Hell, to this day when Kim says she wants to talk, which is usually just to say hi and maybe, get high. And it's usually a giggle fest and a fun time. First thing I always ask her is, am I in trouble? Is there going to be bad news? Like, I'm already bracing for it. Because in my head, the only time somebody wants to talk to me, especially somebody who's abandoned me, is to give me bad news. And I would say that's not always the case anymore, but boy, I'm so wired for that, And if I go back to where that started, it's fucking Junior all day. Because the only time, that motherfucker, every time he said my name, I assumed I was getting beat, bullied, or emotionally bashed, It's just a little kid of myself coming out as an adult now, bracing for impact again, bracing for Junior to destroy me emotionally or beat the shit out of me. It's a Tuesday, it could be anything. Have my siblings jump me in the yard because it was funny for him and his friends. I get what's going on, People are going to say, well, you survived. Now make it count. Like I owe the universe something. But honestly, what if surviving's all I have got today? Like, my mom texts me regularly because she loves me, and I hate that I worry her, and I hate that she even knew about the situation. She's not going to like that I said that. I felt like once I made it through, it was not necessary. But I know that came from love, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm mad at anybody. I'm just mad at myself that it got that far. But, like, some days all I have is survival. And, like, everyone's telling me, like, oh, you know what, it's going to be okay. You know what, you just got to get through this divorce, or you have to get through this, like, learning this job. It's going to be all right. But, like, sometimes, no, it's not. Like, sometimes I have to be okay. Like, sometimes the world has to be okay that I'm going to isolate and just survive and duck out. Because sometimes I don't have, like, the energy I have today where I'm like, okay, I think there may be a light. And it may be ways down the road, and it may be through some rough shit, but I think there's a light out there. And now I imagine, like, I put this out there, there's going to be some kind of pressure for me, like, oh, I survived doing something stupid. I hope not. Excuse me. I hope y'all just understand, like, I didn't stay because I had some kind of plan. I stayed because I didn't follow through. I don't need any more, Some days I feel kind of cowardly for not following. Sometimes, honestly, I get pretty mad at myself for not following through. I feel like I'm just a disappointment. I don't know. I think about if I need to forgive myself for not following through. And I think I need to forgive myself for even thinking about going there again. I think I have to be okay that, like, it's okay that I'm not okay. That I'm broken as fuck right now. And I think someday, if I accept those things, then maybe, just maybe, I will find a community who loves me for me, who accepts that I like watching fucking wrestling, And I think sex can be fun on a social level, and I love all people, and I want them to have a great life, and I just want people to want me to have a great life. And I'm going to find a community that understands that I don't, the things that are important to a lot of people aren't important to me. Connections are, my boss, I pulled one of my bosses aside, a little tangent here, but I pulled one of my bosses aside, plus a little side joint here. Because I pulled, like, the main boss that I know of aside and said, I need help learning how to do this fucking job because the two bosses below you aren't hearing me. My team fucking hates me and doesn't want me to. I don't know they don't want me to be successful because that doesn't make sense because you think the better I am, the easier their life is, but whatever. What I will say is, I think, anyways, I got a little zoned out from being high. Excuse me for that. What I was saying is I pulled him aside, right? And I was like, listen, I need your help. Figure this out, right? And I think we got a plan in place. But I don't even know where I was at. Cause now I'm just lost because I just got, like, weed amnesia. But I think I was going to say something there pretty good. I'm going to figure it out. That's what I was going to say. Because I think, like, me and this guy, we had a good communication. And hopefully, like, I know there's reasons to be optimistic about life. That even if things in this situation don't work out any better than they are right now and they only get worse, right? Big deal. I gotta sleep on a park bench for a couple of months. Maybe that'll make me stronger somehow. Maybe it'll make me appreciate something. I don't know. But, like, I'm done. I thought about this the other day. Another tangent. I feel like my whole life I've ran from debt. I ran from, like, financial responsibilities. And I think it had a big negative on my marriage, right? Just because I was always robbing Peter to pay Paul, or, like, some things were out of my control, but, like, I also, like, did some things I didn't need to do because, like, fear of missing out. And I think I'm learning through this whole situation that I just gotta push through the suck. I might have to go back into treatment, or, I'm gonna have to go without a lot of things for a while. I have to be here to go through it. And the only way I'm ever gonna have a chance to to reconnect with Kaylee is being here, right? Because if she decides one day she's willing to have coffee and have a 20-minute conversation on what the fuck happened and where I was in her childhood and why I failed, and I'm going to take all that, then I have to be here. And that means I might have to sit through some real shitty things. But every day I'm here is a day that is an opportunity for her to change her mind. And so I don't want her to change her mind and go, hey, Mom, can you help me get a hold of my dad? And then Deb reaches out to our mutual friends, and then she finds out, well, Dad called it quit. Because then, what's that? What is she going to feel like? Like I took something else from her. So I guess long and short of it, I guess I'm not staying here for me, guys. And I know you're not going to love hearing that. Kid Matt voice, I heard it right there. I know you're not going to love hearing that for the ones out there who truly love me. But I am staying here for other people. I'm staying here so my mom doesn't have to bury one of her own. Or if she does it, I don't want it to have to be me. And I don't want my daughter to make a decision to open her heart to her dad just to find out that I gave up just maybe a day too soon. So I just like really fucked with me. Because I don't think I really thought about that until I just said it out loud. Like, I can only imagine if I would have followed through. What if I would have followed through last Thursday and Kaylee texted me on Friday? Listen, I'm ready for that conversation. Listen, I've lived in my car before. This time will be better because I'm actually a little bit excited about it. And I've been very fortunate not to have to sleep on park benches. But I'm okay with that too. Because every day, no matter how shitty things get, if I lose my job, whatever it is, like, every day I'm around, my mom's not going to one of her kids' funerals, and my daughter, I'll be here if my daughter chooses to allow me in her life. And I'll also, I get to rebuild this, and maybe even I'll find someone who loves me. And that'll be awesome, because I want to be in love. I'd like to be in lust, really. Maybe I'll start building a life for somebody. I'll never get married again, ever. But I'm not against the idea of building a life with an individual. So that's a whole lot of, I don't know what's going on. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to this. I'm still here. No grand answers, no big revelations, just here. And if you are too, that's enough for today. Thanks for sitting in with me. Nobody's told you lately. I'm glad you stayed, if you're one of the ones out there. So light one up, drink some water. We'll keep going together. This is Pierce of Mine, and I will see you next time.
They may be men who don't have PhDs in anything, but you can bet that sweet ass they know how to have fun. And seeing how you made it to the end, you're now in the club. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we had doing it. Make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on TikTok. Y'all be cool. See you next time.